Hey guys, HCGChica! I came on today to talk about the question, do I need to eat all 500 calories on the HCG protocol? I see this question a lot and I see a lot of answers too, online, in forums, but I wanted to actually talk about that today because the answer may surprise you. So basically, one of the things that Dr. Simeons stated in his original protocol, in his manuscript, Pounds and Inches, which you can actually download a free copy of that manuscript on my website, HCGChica.com, under Diet Tools. But anyway, in there, he stated more than once that you must not exceed 500 calories while on the protocol. And so I think sometimes that phrase ends up getting misconstrued. You know, sometimes we don't remember exactly how something was said specifically, so later it comes back in our heads a slightly different way, right? So he just said do not exceed 500 calories. More than once he said that. So to me that means do not exceed, right? But that definitely doesn't mean that you cannot eat under that. And just to prove that point, I'm just going to read to you really quick what he stated in the diet portion of the book. He says, those not uncommon patients who feel that even so little food is too much for them can omit anything they wish. So he did state that it was okay to omit food from the 500 calorie protocol if it really felt like that much food was too much. I do believe he also stated elsewhere that it was important to always take in the 2 proteins. So I'm assuming that he meant that you could omit anything else but the proteins. But anyway, that is stated directly in his protocol. And so, you know, in a nutshell, as a doctor, when he was doing this treatment, he actually felt perfectly comfortable telling his patients that they could eat less than 500 calories. And no doubt that is what happened with a lot of people, or else, you know, he wouldn't have included it in his manuscript. So in his practice and experience with administering this protocol to all his patients, he must have discovered that there were many patients who were just so not hungry that they didn't even need to eat the full 500 calories. So this has been my experience as well. I will say that the majority of the time I do eat the full 500, and to be honest, there's even days when I might eat closer to 600 calories, like when I'm ovulating or close to my cycle. So at those times I might even eat a little more. But there were certainly days, several days, you know, last round, that I just was so not hungry. I mean, it almost felt like I didn't need to eat it all that day. It was, you know, I definitely needed a little something, but the amount that I needed to feel just fine was just so tiny. It definitely wasn't 500 calories. So on occasion, on days like that, I would just kind of plug into my FitnessPal, you know, approximate amounts of what I ate, you know, say 2 different protein portions, and then, oh, I had a few cherry tomatoes and half of a cucumber, you know, and I would check it out and it appeared to be just like 350 calories. So the answer is yes, you can actually eat less than 500 calories if, that's the big if that's what your hunger dictates. It's very important not to eat less than 500 calories for any other reason. And I just say this because, you know, a lot of us women, probably most women, have dealt with some type of eating disorder at one point or another. So being that many of us come from a background like that, it's really important that, you know, when I'm making a video like this saying, yes, you can eat less than 500 calories from what I've seen and what I've read, but at the same time, just make sure that you know the true reason behind why you're doing that. You know, you don't want to use that as a license to purposefully try to eat only 300 calories for several days on HCG just to try to lose more weight, when in actuality, you're really hungry for more. And I just bring that up because I just think that that's something that us women can sometimes do. You know, we take something and then we twist it around in our heads a little bit, and then when it comes back out, we've kind of tried to come up with this logical excuse to do something where in reality, we're really just trying to get skinnier faster, you know. So just keep it in mind that we're trying to do this long term. You know, I mean, we're not on the diet long term, but we're trying to accomplish results that will last a long term. And if you purposefully eat less, you know, than your body needs, you're gonna not be losing the right kind of weight. I think most of us are gonna be smart about it and not, you know, not try to push things. But I felt like it was important for me to say that. Here's the lowdown. If you're on the right dose of HCG, your hunger is going to be so minimal that you should comfortably be able to eat 500 calories. If you find that there are several days where you don't even need 500 calories because you're just so not hungry, then that's perfectly normal. If you find that you definitely always need to eat the full 500 calories and that's just how it is, that's totally normal too. If, however, you're finding that you are hungry for a lot more than 500 calories on a regular basis, that's a problem. That's kind of something where you want to start checking your dose of HCG. If you're taking the dosage that most people take along with the 500, which is usually somewhere between 125 IU and 200 IU, usually there's a sweet spot in there where you just really aren't hungry. So that's the dose that you want to, that's the sweet spot you want to find. And if you, like I said, if you're finding that you need a lot more than 500, don't accept that. Try to actually adjust your dose so that you find your body is actually content with less, because that's actually the ideal scenario, and it should be possible as far as I know with the majority of people. Of course, you know, I suppose nothing is going to be the same 100% of the time, but from what I've seen, the vast majority should be able to find a dose where they really don't need more than the 500. So the next question to answer then would be, well, what should I skip? If I'm really not hungry some days, what should I leave out? We already discussed proteins, so definitely don't skip your 2 proteins each day. Definitely eat those always, if nothing else. And as far as, you know, what to leave out after that, you know, if someone asked me that, what order I would take stuff out, I would probably drop the grissini and melba first. And after that, I'd probably drop, you know, the fruits and then probably the vegetables last. That's probably just how I do it. You know, there's definitely a lot of nutrition in the fruit and the vegetables, whereas the, you know, grissini melba, not so much. So that's probably how I would do it. So some of you might be asking yourselves, is this truly okay? You know, I mean, for those who have not been on the HCG protocol, the idea of eating only 500 calories in a day is a huge warning signal in their head, and it sounds totally dangerous. So the idea of eating even less than that, you know, maybe 300 to 400, even for us seasoned HCGers, that too sounds like, I don't know, that sounds really crazy, you know? So I'll just tell you the main things why I feel comfortable doing that myself on occasion. Like I said, I definitely don't do that every day on the protocol. But basically, the first thing is, you know, Dr. Simeons, he was a medical doctor, right? So the fact that he felt comfortable telling, and I think I've already mentioned this, but the fact that he felt comfortable telling his patients that they could omit items, you know, if they really weren't hungry, to me that says a lot. Like I said, I really could tell from reading Dr. Simeons' background that he cared about people. He did all kinds of specialty work over in other countries like India and helped with different diseases and stuff like that. So you could kind of tell the kind of person that he was, and that he wouldn't purposefully do anything to harm his patients. And he had enough experience with treating his patients to know that that suggesting that would not cause them any harm. So I really actually trust his statement on that matter. And then the second thing is because I have done this on many occasions myself, and I've had my hydrostatic body fat testing done before and after my rounds, I haven't experienced excessive muscle loss these last few rounds when I've done that. I've had no problem keeping my fat loss off. I'm very strong now. I'm very muscular. I'm very muscular. I mean, not from HCG, from working out, but doing that definitely did not cause me to lose excess muscle or become excessively weak, where I had a lot of like makeup time after the round was over. I have not had that. In fact, to the contrary, I have been quite surprised both times that I took a break from CrossFit to do a round of HCG. The first time I was away from CrossFit for a whole month, no exercise for a whole month. And then the second time I was gone for a whole 6 weeks, no CrossFit, no exercise. I think all I did at home was maybe a few squats and a few push-ups. I mean, nothing even to break a sweat. So when I went back to CrossFit, I was very surprised to find that I only felt kind of like, oh, I haven't worked out in a while for like the first 2 or 3 sessions. Each session is only 1 hour. So literally within a week, I already felt back to my old self. And not only that, I weighed less, you know, so it's almost like I was actually stronger than when I left. So just since that's been my experience, that's why I feel comfortable saying that, yeah, if you're not hungry for all 500, you know, don't feel like you have to, you know, push it down there. So let me just close with this. The majority of the time on the protocol, I do find myself eating all 500 calories. So if someone were to ask me how often I was, you know, just so not hungry that I ate less, I'd probably say maybe 2 days a week, you know, and then I was on the protocol for 6 weeks. So, you know, maybe 12 days out of the 42-ish days is, you know, is how much I ate less. And it was definitely earlier in the protocol. As time went on, you know, the last few weeks of the protocol, I definitely probably was eating the full 500 every single day. So anyway, I hope that just kind of gives you guys a little bit of help trying to figure out what you should do. It's one of those things where these kind of questions come up mid-round sometimes, because before you start, you don't know what to expect, of course. And then once you're on it, you know, you're either really hungry and you need to adjust your dose, or you're really not hungry and it might scare you a little bit, like, oh my goodness, I'm not hungry at all. Is this normal? So it is actually normal. And Dr. Simeons, that's why he stated what he did in his protocol, because that's the experience that many of his patients had. So anyway, I hope you guys find that helpful, and I'll talk with you guys soon. Remember to like my Facebook page, Go HCG Diet. I'm on there, and you'll see that I have lots of little fun pictures of me and my son, and so if you just want to see a little bit of the other side of my life, raising my son and stuff, you can check that out too. And I also post my most recent blog posts and things like that. So I hope you'll check it out and like my page. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.